time. This is other interpretation of pulse repetition period. The time of the pulse and the time the machine is waiting on and off. The relation between the pulse duration and the pulse repetition period is the duty factor. The duty factor is equal the pulse duration divided by the pulse repetition period, but times 1000, because duty factor is too little and they put the 1000 to don't have too much zeros. Duty factor is equal pulse duration divide pulse repetition period times 1000. Have no units. Factors are not units. And more is the pulse repetition frequency, more is the duty factor, are directly proportional. More superficial you are working, higher is the duty factor. Of the contrary, more is the pulse repetition period, lower is the duty factor. More time the machine is waiting for echoes because you are working deeper, more is the duty factor. Duty factor is not always the same, depend on how deep you are working, because the pulse repetition period and the pulse repetition frequency are determined by how deep you are working. In general, a typical value of the duty factor is 0.0005, and this is the reason they put the 1000 in the formula, because if the 1000 was not there, we have here 3 more zeros. It's very little. The duty factor is very little. The machine is 90%, 99% of the time waiting for echoes, in less than 1% of the time producing ultrasound. This is the same. The pulse is very little and the time the machine is off is too big. 99% of the time the machine is off. The machine is waiting for echoes. Only a little time the machine is producing echoes, less than 1 millionth of second. This is the pulse. The duty factor is the pulse duration divide pulse repetition period times 1000, and it's very little. Have no units. Intensity. Intensity is how we use to know if the machine can produce damage in the body or the ultrasound is safe. Power is the quantity of energy that the machine is producing by time, and intensity is power divided by area. More is the amplitude, more is the intensity, but the relation is squared. But look, amplitude is not exactly the same in the pulse. Sometimes the pulse have more amplitude, the pulse have more energy than other time. It's not constant. Intensity is different in different part of the pulse. Peak intensity is the biggest intensity that the pulse have. It's the time when the intensity is higher. But more, the beam area intensity is not the same in all the area of the beam. in the center of the beam, intensity is higher. More intensity in the center of the beam. And this is for that the maximum intensity is in the spatial peak and in the time peak. That is in the place where there are more intensity and in the moment there are more intensity. This is the higher and is called SPTP. In the center of the beam and in the moment is higher the amplitude in the pulse. Of the contrary, a spatial average, time average is the media of the amplitude in the pulse and in the time the machine is off. And the spatial average is the average of intensity in all the beam. More average, lower. And this is for that spatial average, time average is the lower intensity that you can measure. Average of the area, average of the time on and off. Other measure is the spatial average. Pulse average is different. It's not time average, it's pulse average. This is the average of intensity in all the area, but the average intensity only in the time the machine is producing ultrasound. Is not as low as a spatial average, time average. Is in the middle. This is time average, is lower. This is pulse average, less time. Don't take the time the machine is off. And this is for that there are more intensity in the pulse average than time average. This is for that SATA is the lower and SPTP is the higher. More peak, higher, more average, lower. This is a scheme of the machine of ultrasound. The machine of ultrasound has the pulser, the beamformer and the transducer, and the other part, receiver, memory and display, is exactly as a